Hello, my friends. Doug here from Albuquerque in New Mexico, and this is a podcast about knitting, about yarn, and about sometimes, occasionally, my ventures into other fiber arts. Today, I need to start with what I'm wearing because I forgot last time when I was wearing the fog cutter. Today, this is a sweater that I made up, so no help here. However, if you like this, grab your mini skeins, grab your leftovers, and have a go at it with any pattern that you love, which is a top-down sweater. And mine has full-length sleeves, and I love it and wear it a lot. And in regards to what I'm wearing, full disclosure, I am still wearing my favorite winter cozy home pants with the Grinch. Yes, no plans on leaving the house today. I want to spend this time with you and then go and edit so you get to enjoy, I hope, this podcast. I want to start with something that was almost done last time, and that is my Felix cardigan. It had just been missing the buttons, and let me put it on. See, I'm glad I told you that I'm wearing these. Full disclosure, right? So, yeah, the buttons are super nice and no regrets here. Very warm cardigan, and any other information you'd find in the previous episodes as I was working on this. Or you can go on Ravelry, where I am paper tag. I'm pretty good at keeping my all my projects updated with needle size and yarn information and such. And also, I have finished my shawl. This is the Cantarelli by Carolina H Design. I think that's what her handle is on Ravelry. I have blocked it, I have washed it, I have blocked it, I have talked about it many times, and I must say that I blocked it pretty aggressively, if you want to call it that, because I really wanted the lace to open up, and yes, that it did. And yeah, I'm excited about having it done, and yeah, very happy with how it turned out. And also, what else do I need to mention? I was in the last section last time I saw you, and I had told you that the last section is originally a two-colored brioche, which I didn't want to do, so I winged it and made sure that the lace pattern works out with where I was in the pattern. I made a mistake down here somewhere, but it's really not visible, I find. And I had 2 skeins of this, which is Zia Wool's Honeysuckle in the colorway Matchmaker, and that's all I have left, which is probably at best 30 grams. Yeah, I don't want to go into all the details because you've seen it all. I've talked about it at length, and so please refer to my Ravelry page for any other information you might want to have. But I do want to mention that I was super happy to use the yarn here by one of my favorite hand dyers. Her name is Stitched Together Studio. Yeah, it turned out huge, you guys. What do you think? And I can wrap it around myself 50 times. Well, not 50 times, enough. But I have to say one thing now that I'm handling it. It's really, I love this base, which has merino, superwash merino, cashmere, and silk. And you could tell when I took it off the blocking place. I've had blocking wires and it was on the guest bed. And as I picked it up, I could tell, wow, this is really has a super nice drape with the silk. Come on, where are you, you corner, you? Yeah, really, really great. I'm looking forward to being able to use this now because it's cold right now. Just a tiny bit of snow, which is not enough for my taste, but I guess it is what it is. So this is the other thing that was finished. Then I have something finished that you know me, I call things finished even before I have the ends woven in. And I finished my Oma sweater, which is called Oma sweater after my mom, to honor her, because I've used all her leftover sock yarns. And this is version 2 of this sweater. I have already made this in kind of manly colors, lots of greens for my brother. And now I have one as well. I'll put it on for you next time when I've woven in all the ends, but just so you know, in the meantime, this was done with 4.5 millimeter needles. Like I said, all leftover sock yarns from my mother, and I made up the design, if you want to call it. It's nothing fancy, it's just a simple top-down raglan. Usually I like my sleeves more snug for my sweaters, as you can see with this one, but because this is more of a rustic yarn, it's commercial European sock yarn, and so I thought, wow, it's going to be more like a cardigan like that I wear over other things, so I didn't want the sleeves too tight. Yeah, I'm very happy that it's done. It was about time. I had meant to finish this in Germany when I visited in October to get photos taken with my brother, both of us wearing the sweaters. But then my niece asked for no, she didn't ask me. She was just talking about a sweater that she loved so much. And I thought, well, Auntie can take care of that. And so I did. And so this guy did not see a lot of love while I was there, but it's okay. That was totally fine. Yes, this is an episode of All the Finished Things because, believe it or not, if you remember this baby, it is indeed finished. I can't believe it myself, seriously. Every time I think about this, I am so impressed by myself, I really want to say, because this was hard. And I mean, it was hard for me as the knitter, and maybe it wouldn't be hard for you, but Shara made, who designed this, I really, I was so impressed by her design. I was so impressed by what she came up with. And I mean, it's so stunning and beautiful, and I'm just really glad I finished the hat. Maybe you remember last time I was talking about it and I said I don't know if I should finish it. It's really demanding everything out of me, and for a while I actually only knitted on this in the mornings, but now I thought, well, if I ever want to get this done, I have to knit in the evenings too, and that's what I did. And actually only once did I have to stop knitting because I thought I had made a mistake, and the next day when my brain was fresh I realized, no, this isn't a mistake. This is how it's supposed to be. So, but without further ado, I'm going to show you the hat. I'm going to put it on if I find the back at the front. No, it's really not really visible where the back is, but I just love this. I think it looks amazing, and really compliments to the designer. And yeah, this is art, not by me, most certainly not, but by Shara. There's only one thing that I would like to mention. If you think you want to make this, make sure you pick high contrast colors so your work can shine. And because I'm a tight knitter, I had a feeling that my row gauge was off. So what I did to fix a problem that I wasn't sure the problem was going to come up. But as soon as you are finished with this section, I don't know what you want to call it, that diamond part here, you are going into the decreases for the crown. And I thought, wow, this is kind of like low. I want the crown to sit a little bit higher. And so I added 8 rounds in just plain 2-colored brioche, which is essentially 4 rounds because you knit every round twice you knit it with each color. You alternate the colors. 1 round color A, 1 round color B. So I did that. I did 8 extra rounds after this before I went into the decreases. Yeah, and that's all I need to say, because otherwise I knit it exactly as the pattern specified. But, one more but. I used 3.75 needles. Yes. Wow. What an incredible piece of art. This design. I can't say it enough. All done. More on the yarn, like I said, on Ravelry or in the last episode. The yarns were souvenir yarns from Alaska from a few years ago, so I'm really glad I made something with those yarns. Yeah. And then I have continued working on my Moab shawl by Very Busy Monkey, and I am sorry, I don't know what I did with the pattern. It's not here, people. Sorry. But I have knitted up the first skein of yarn. The pattern is originally written for, I think, only 1 skein of a fingering yarn, which would have been way too small for me anyways. I like them bigger, my shawls, and so I coming from my yarn choice, which is a sport yarn, a Shawl sport yarn in the colorway The Lover. It's Desert Candy because it's so incredibly soft. And yeah, I changed the pattern from garter body to stockinette so the colorway could shine a little bit more. And I have pretty much finished up the first skein, and I have 3. I think in the pattern says that you have to have about half of your yarns left to until you have to start the edge. And this is the yarn. Yeah, I love this. It's so incredibly soft. That's so great. Yeah. And this is, as you can imagine, a simple project for when I need something that doesn't require a lot of attention. And then, my friends, what else? What else? I have picked up another project that actually, you know why I picked that up? Because I saw that Gudrun Johnston now has a podcast here on YouTube. It's so cool. I was so excited when I got that suggested, and because I really think she's an incredible designer, and I met her a few years ago in Santa Fe, and I had just purchased this pattern and had her sign it. And I did want to make the sweater with yarn that I had purchased in Wyoming at a fiber mill that my friend Chrissy recommended I go see when I'm out there. Come on. Yeah, here's a bundle of all the tags. It's Mountain Meadow Fiber Mill. Let me make sure that I'm not telling you. See? I'm telling you nonsense. Mountain Meadow Wool. And the yarn I'm using is a Rambouillet that they have processed. And in case you don't know, Rambouillet is a certain breed of sheep, and the fibers have a lot of crimp. I know that because I've gotten it from a local sheep farm and had it processed into spinning fibers, and it's just so stretchy. Because of the crimp in the fibers, it has a lot of elasticity. The needle size I'm using is, I have no clue. I always think it's 3, but it's not. Let me make sure. No, it is indeed not 3 millimeters, but it's 3.5. And it's a bottom up sweater. And this is where I am right now. It's a cropped sweater, and I'm a little bit uncertain whether I should really make it cropped, and I'm going to show you all my yarns. I'm not sure I'm going to use the bottom one. I think it's slightly thicker, but I have, and that's the problem when you knit bottom up, you just cannot be sure how much yarn you will need and how much yarn, if you have any yarn left over. So this, I have 2 more skeins of the main color. So I was thinking, because I don't want it as a short sleeve sweater, I'm gonna make the sleeves, and I'll see, at least I will have them 3/4. And if I really have anything in this color left, I will lengthen the body of the sweater, because in the yoke, I will replace the main color with this color. I think I need 3 colors for the yoke, and so let me take a quick look. Yeah, you can tell that light color, which is this one. So I'm gonna just use that lighter apricot color instead. Yeah. That would be nice to get that done. And I'm really not, I'm the body of this really kicked my butt, because it's my row gauge is really, really, I think it takes me maybe 4 or 5 rounds for 1 centimeter. That's a lot. And I have 300 plus stitches. But I mean, goodness, you just gotta do it like every day, like 5-10 rounds. And that's why I started putting a lot of markers here, so I can actually see, yes, I have made progress, even though it feels like I have not. So I hope I'm gonna continue on this. And in case you wonder, that is my second skein. Yeah, I think it's the second of this red color. Where did I switch skeins? Yes, here. Yeah. Okay, wish me luck. And then I showed you the Moab. I showed you all my finished things, and I know I have, so I showed you last time my cowl. I feel weird now because I named this the High Desert Cowl. There's no High Desert Cowl on Ravelry. And the reason I chose this name is because I live in high desert in Albuquerque. However, it made me feel a little weird that I am working on a sweater that's called High Desert Yoke. So I'm not sure. The name may change last minute, but I'm gonna probably bring this out and publish this in about 10 days. The date, the weekend, not the coming weekend, but the weekend after that. It's today the 8th. So about the 17th of January. Yeah. New pattern by yours truly, and I have since started working on a hat pattern because I just love the texture and the effect so much that you get with the linen stitch, and 1 variegated yarn and 1 solid yarn. So I'm making up a hat pattern right now with DK yarn. So I'm using, and of course I did not bring the yarn. I switched it back and forth, the different yarns. Where did I put this? I was so certain I had brought this, but okay, whatever. It is what it is. This is, oh yeah, I'll put it on the screen. This is a beautiful yarn that my friend Lisa had gifted me. By the way, my friend, that's the same Lisa who has so kindly agreed to model my cowl for me. And I can't believe I didn't mention that just a second ago. Lisa modeled the cowl for me and looks fabulous in it. But Lisa looks fabulous in just about everything. So now the hat, back to the hat. Yarn from Lisa and Zia Wool's yarns. So you need for this pattern really to work with a lot of oomph and fun, and you need a nice contrast. So this one was a little bit borderline, but I think it works really nicely. So I have started with a solid colored rib, and then I've gone into the pattern, and I just think it looks amazing. I'm so in love with this stitch and to work it in 2 colors right now. What do you think? So great. Problem? You're gonna say, what? It looks lovely. Where's the problem? Yeah, I wanted this to be my size, and I thought this cowl is a little bit too loose width-wise for my head, I would say. I thought. But now, and so I started this with less stitches, but this is for my taste a little bit too snug on my head. And I'll put it on for you. And you're gonna say, it's fine, but it's just my personal taste. I don't know. I'm gonna finish, and so I have this size, and because the pattern is gonna be written for different sizes, and so yeah, we'll see what happens. Yes. So stay tuned, and like I said before, as soon as I have made my final decision on the name of the cowl, I will pop out a tiny announcement video here on YouTube, so you, my subscribers, can get the cowl at a discount for the first 2 days, and it's also going to be announced on Instagram if you're on Instagram. But Instagram, well, I sometimes see stuff that has been posted 5 days ago. I mean, Instagram has gotten so weird over the years. I can't make sense out of it anymore. So if you want to rely on it, if you're subscribed, you're going to see this if you check your videos that pop up. And now, last but not least, another word again about knitting journals, and the reason being, I talked about this last time, and I showed you, you've seen my knitting journal. What I do is I use an A5 notebook, not too thick, because I know I want to put in stuff like the yarn tags. I want to write in it, and here I always put in the yarns that I use for Duke City mitts, and write kind of like the core data about those. But it's, I mean, I love it, and I have always decorated the cover with a collage, and I've made some. This is not my first rodeo. I mean, you know what I mean. And so now, but now I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking, what am I going to use next? And I thought, I really want to go back to Red Barn Collections. Red Barn Collections is a company in Salt Lake City in Utah that came out. I don't know if they invented the concept, but what they make is they turn books into journals or whatever you want to make out of them. And I have ordered several books from them. I have sent them books from me that I had them turn into spiral bound notebooks. And I usually do not like spiral bound books too much, but in this case I am thinking it's going to be great because, for one, the spiral that they use is a thick one. So you can put into the book a lot of labels and a lot of photos without the book getting too crazily expensive in a V shape, you know what I mean? And the other thing is that I normally hate writing on spirals, but I'm thinking maybe I want to be a little more thorough with the way I keep my knitting journal, and maybe I'm gonna put on the left side the tags and the photo of the project, so it's also easier to find something when I go back. And so left side photo, tags, yarn samples, right side core data about the project, like needle size, I mean, all the handwritten stuff that needs to go in. If you have Red Barn Collections add their own papers, it's two options. I think a cheaper variety, which is fine for ballpoint or whatever, pencil, whatever you may want to write with, but it did not work out well for me with fountain pens. I have never tried their high-end paper, but because I have a lot of paper that I thought, well, I'm going to find something with my paper. And so I have chosen two books that I will send away and have them turn into my next knitting journals. And this is one. And the way they do this is they put, and I specified this, I want them to put in 10 sheets of my paper here and at all the other spots that I have marked. And what else did I want to tell you? And yeah, of course, they cut the papers so they're all the same size. Yeah, and then the spine is cut away and replaced by this heavy-duty spiral. And I have chosen just simple white paper, which is also a heavy paper. And of course I tried it with fountain pens, so I can use those for the book. I mean, I was really thinking about finding a local place to do the spiral binding for me and the cutting, but I called a few places and I didn't find anybody that would do that for me. And then in the end, I also thought, well, I'm just going to send it to them. And also because, I mean, it's their idea, and that way they get the credit for this transformation. The other book, and I have, what you hear is my bundle where I have already combined paper and the book, and this is the other one. And you use an old book, and I have found this in a thrift store. This is the most adorable story. I love it. And the funny thing is that I had already had this same book turned into a spiral bound book years ago, and I had gifted it to my local friend Amber, and but now thankfully I found another one of these, and I'm gonna this one is definitely gonna be kept for myself. Yeah, so like I said, you have a couple of pages, and then you have a bunch of blank pages for your projects. Yeah, I do not yet know how long this is going to take to get the books back, but and in these days we have a hard time being patient, if you know what I mean. So hopefully it's not going to take too long, because I crave instant gratification, but that's not possible. So I'll keep you posted, and I will show you the books as soon as they are done. Okay, and this is all from me today. I hope you're all doing well, and I wish you the very best for this new year. May it bring a lot of good things and happiness and mindfulness and peaceful knitting time for all of us. Happy knitting.